Greetings, family. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, thank you for joining my channel. And if you are a returning subscriber, I also want to thank you for your support. And if you haven't subscribed, please do consider to subscribe. Today, I want to talk about something that has been in the YouTube streets about the color of Jesus. You would have seen from my thumbnail that I'm asking a question. Is Jesus black? Um, the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, has made a disclosure. He actually opened the Russian vaults, and here in this vault it reveals the black biblical Israels, obviously Jesus being one of them. Now, when I was looking at one video which discusses this issue, some of them, they refer to it as the greatest lie being exposed, the greatest reveal. Because remember, most people throughout the world, most, not all, they know Jesus as being white. Most of the pictures that we grew up seeing, it was those of a white Jesus. Though we have always known that Jesus is a Jew, and there have been different debates around this, the color of Jesus. Some of them say we have always known that he is a Middle Eastern. Some said we knew him to be a Jew. Well, I also knew that Jesus is a Jew. I know that he's a Jew. Uh, so I was just intrigued by the different reactions, views around this matter. And someone said, does it really matter if Jesus is black or white? Now my question is, yes, does it matter? And somebody says, if it doesn't matter, why was this fact hidden from us? Why is it that most people only are discovering it now? Which makes Putin a hero to most people. Now I'm beginning to develop an interest in this President Putin. Who is really this guy? And by the way, this is not a political discussion. I just want to express my own views and hear your views on the matter of Jesus being discovered to be actually a black man, and whether it matters to you and what it means for the future of the church and what it means for you as a Christian. Are you, if you are white, are you going to continue to worship Jesus? Is your love for your Lord gonna be affected by the fact that you have just discovered that he is actually a black man? Because Putin said, here in Russia, we are going to worship a black Jesus, not a white one, because he is black. And in some of the debates, some people say it would make sense. There are very interesting, various views on this matter. Because the view that kind of repeated, that was repeated by people, was the fact that Russia is the only European country that did not participate in the transatlantic slave trade. And you ask yourself, why? Is it because this Russia has never been racist? I'm not sure if I'm allowed to use this word here. Because, even now, recently, I'm South African, And here in South Africa, we are part of what is called BRICS. It's an acronym which stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Now, it's no longer just BRICS, it's BRICS Plus, because there are other countries that are developing interests that have joined, and there are so many others that wants to join this BRICS. But we're not here to talk about BRICS or the agenda of BRICS, but BRICS is part of it. So it is interesting that BRICS is part of this this alliance that is trying to move away from the West. And it's also interesting that he decided to open these vaults. I also find it very interesting, when I was watching the news where he said he's going to give rice freely without any charge to some of the poor African countries. This is very interesting. And this has provoked now my interest on trying to understand who is this man, who is this white man who is tilting towards the black nation. For me, this is something that I cannot just ignore as a South African, based on my history of where we come from, having grown in apartheid South Africa, having suffered the effects of apartheid, even now still having those effects lingering in our nation. Yes, we have had a democracy for 30 years, but the effects are still there. And on the other hand, we cannot continue to blame apartheid for what is happening in South Africa. But all what I'm trying to say is the effects of apartheid are there. I know what it means to grow in a country where you are a born citizen and you are not treated as a citizen. As somebody who grew up in a homeland, I was once denied of my South African citizenship because of the homeland system that was introduced by the then regime. But there are people who say, we have always known that Jesus is black based on the description of who Jesus is in the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 14 to 15, which talks about these two verses. They talk about the appearance of Jesus. But what is very interesting is that the picture of Jesus does not match the Bible descriptions. Pictures of Jesus that we see in synagogues, I don't want to say synagogues, in churches or wherever in books, it does not match the Bible description. That is why some people now are excited, some are mad. And that is why some people, they call it now the greatest lie which has been exposed. Because in this revelation, the, the, the physical description of Jesus, it refers to Jesus with a glowing black skin color. Because there it talks about his feet being feet burnished brass, the color of burnt brass, and it refers to his hair, which looks like a wool. His hair looks like a wool. Which hair looks like a wool? Why does it say his feet are burnished grass? Because somebody explained that if you say the feet are burnished brass, it means that it's a glowing black skin color. So Jesus' skin was a darker hue and his hair had a woolly texture according to the Bible. So clearly there has been a lie that has been perpetrated. Actually, somebody says the popular picture of Jesus that we see around, it was somebody who drew his own boyfriend. It was not the picture of Jesus. So these are the debates that are going on. Some say God is a spirit. Yes, here we're talking about Jesus. So there are debates going on, some reactions very emotional. Some people are excited. Some people are, 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 are very angry about what they call this lie. But if it's there in the Bible, if the description of who Jesus is there in the Bible, who should we blame? Should we blame those who have lied to us? Or should we blame ourselves, our ignorance? If this description that is there in Revelation chapter 1, 14 to 15 has always been there and we overlooked it, or you never saw it, or you never thought about it, to say, why do they refer to feet burnished brass? Why do they refer to his hair with a woolly texture? And I never saw it. And does it matter? As I said when we started, somebody says, if it does not matter, why have they hidden it from us? And my last question would be, what does this mean for the future of the church? What does it mean for you as a believer, black or white? Now, in conclusion, because there are so many videos on this issue, but what I liked, what I want to conclude is with a comment where somebody, a white person, said, I hope this truth that has been hidden, and again, I don't know if it was hidden, because if this good description has been there in the Bible, it was not hidden. They may have hidden the pictures, they may have drawn the wrong pictures, but if this is an accurate description, it was not hidden because the Bible has always been there. So if he says, let me go back to the issue that where he says, I hope the truth brings unity and not further division. And the reason why I concentrated on this comment is because this is really my wish, that this truth that some people call truth that has always been there, it does not bring further division, because we will be blessed as a church when we stand in unity, because it is in unity where God bestows a blessing. The other point that I wanted to mention before I close this discussion is the fact that somebody said one of the illustrations, which I was taught, by the way, years ago to illustrate the color of Jesus, was the fact that Jesus' parents, Jesus' earthly parents, Mary and Joseph, when they were told by the angels to run away to go and hide Jesus, when they went to exile, when they ran for refuge with baby Jesus, they went to a black land. There was no way he was gonna be be so exposed that he's white and he's going to a black country. It's because the environment there matched his color. I remember one preacher preaching this many years ago in the early 90s, where he says, as a confirmation that Jesus is black, that the confirmation is where he went for refuge in a black land. I don't know if you find this fruitful, but I'm very interested to hear your view. Did you know that Jesus is black? Or you didn't know? Do you have other information, even from the scripture? Because the scripture is our source that confirms this fact, except for his woolly textured hair, except for his glowing black skin color on his referred to on his feet, except for the fact that he went to refuge to an African country, to a black country. Let me put it that way. What other views do you have? How is this going to affect you? How is this going to affect your relationship with others who share the same faith with you, whether they are black or white? Is this a license now to racism? Because you must remember that it's not only a white person who can be racist, a black person can be racist as well. So, where does this place you as a believer? Thank you for listening, and may God bless you.